The Big Ten has the best running backs in all of college football. Zero argument, hands down, no question about it. But which ball carriers stand above the rest in the conference of running backs as we enter 2023?
From LA to Piscataway, all Big Ten all year long. This is Big Ten 10.
Drink it in, Big Ten fans. Enjoy it, because we are living in a golden age of running back talent in the Big Ten. When we look 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, a lot of these guys that are occupying Big Ten backfields right now are going to be playing on Sunday. Some of them are going to be leading rushers on NFL teams. Others are going to have other integral parts on NFL offenses. There is so much talent to go around in the Big Ten Conference right now. Like, I'm about to list off some honorable mentions that aren't in my top 5 of these Big Ten running back power rankings. And this list, this cluster of talent, would lead other conferences in terms of their running back rankings. Like, you look at Roman Hemby from Maryland, Mayan Williams, Ohio State, Braelon Allen at Penn State. How about Purdue's Devin Mockabee, Caleb Johnson at Iowa, Anthony Grant at Nebraska? Those would be the top group of running backs in a lot of other conferences across the country. But those are just the honorable mentions. Those are just the appetizers. Let's get to the main course. I want to start my list with a Buckeye back. Number 5 on my list is TreVeyon Henderson from the Ohio State University. He had an absolutely outstanding freshman season. We talk about Nicholas Singleton's freshman season that he just had. TreVeyon Henderson actually had better numbers before he got banged up in that 2022 season. He came onto the scene right away, even in some of those opening games, right into fall camp, and he was into it immediately in this Ohio State depth chart, right? His ability, his power and speed combination, I think, is very unique. He can go between the tackles. He can get you 3 yards, 4 yards, tough yards on a third and short. He can also break it to the outside. I really love his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield as well. 314 yards and 4 touchdowns receiving over there in 2021. He actually had a okay season, even though he was really banged up in 2022. 100%, he is a Heisman candidate if he is 100% on the health front, especially when you have young quarterbacks, first-year quarterbacks, Kyle McCord, Devin Brown, first time starting in this offense. This is maybe a team that's going to lean on the running game a little bit more. We might see TreVeyon Henderson. I know we have Mayan Williams, and I think the reason why I put TreVeyon Henderson on my top 5 and put Mayan Williams in my honorable mention right now, I just think he's got more big play, breakout, break away from the defense type of ability. He can hit those home runs. I'm going to talk about that term, home run, a lot during this list, more than Mayan Williams. Mayan Williams can bowl you over. He's a bulldozer, and he does have some speed. I just think TreVeyon Henderson is a little bit notch above in terms of that, just a little bit more than Mayan Williams. I love TreVeyon Henderson. He could be in the race for the Heisman Trophy if everything goes well. I know they're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more over there at Ohio State, but maybe balance as well with a new quarterback coming in. Let's go to number 4, and for number 4, we're going to be jumping around in Madison, Wisconsin. Oh, he's just come on campus immediately, a lot like TreVeyon Henderson, his predecessor on this list. He came onto this campus immediately. Oh, did you know he was 17 years old a couple of years ago? Oh, and he's just run for back-to-back 1,200-yard season. This guy is built like a Wisconsin running back. He runs like a Wisconsin running back, which is probably why he's been so successful in this scheme a couple of years ago. And of course, they're changing things up a little bit. So we'll see just how much better he is in this new scheme under Phil Longo. Of course, Tanner Mordecai coming in at quarterback. They might be slinging it around a little bit more. He has such great vision and cutback ability. It just seems so effortless. Finding the crease and finding the seam. There are very few running backs that make a 10-yard run look easy like Braelon Allen does. His ability, even for a bigger, maybe some people might say a more physical back, his ability to cut, jump back, and get out to a 15 or 20-yard gain is very effortless for Braelon Allen right now. When you look at his breakaway speed, like a lot of those more physical Wisconsin running backs before him, I just don't know if he has that top-end breakaway speed like some of the top guys on this list. but he's still very good. I think he's more, you've had some more physical backs like the Ron Danes of the world at Wisconsin. Then you've had some speed guys, the James Whites, the Brian Calhouns. I think he's somewhere in the middle. I think he's a little bit of a hybrid between the more smaller and quicker guys that you've had at Wisconsin and the bigger, more powerful guys that you've had in Madison, Wisconsin as well. I think he's the best of both worlds for Wisconsin this year, and he is definitely one of the best running backs in the Big Ten, if not all of college football. The folks in Madison are definitely happy to have him out there. Number 3 is actually Michigan's number 2. It's Donovan Edwards. He is an extremely tough runner, and he can do it all. I really like guys that are diverse and that can do so many different things in an offense. When you look at running backs and when you put out your top running backs, you might want a guy that runs north and south. You might want a guy that can tote the rock 30 to 35 times and can continually do it. But I like my running backs to have a lot of different skill sets. And Donovan Edwards has those different skill sets. If you need 2 yards on a 3rd and 1, you need tough yards, Donovan Edwards can do that. If you need a toss sweep outside and you need a pulling guard and you want big play, a home run type of play, 50, 60, 70 yards, Donovan Edwards can do that. You can line up Donovan Edwards in the slot and you can have him be involved in the passing game as well. 465 yards and 2 touchdowns combined in the receiving game for Donovan Edwards over the past 2 seasons. I love all of the different things Donovan Edwards can do in an offense. This guy can grind. He can get to the corner. He is a true weapon in a college football offense. I know he's got Blake Corum, and we know we're going to see Blake Corum later on in this list, but maybe if you were to put him in any other program, except for the University of Michigan, he would be a top Heisman candidate. And he still might be a top Heisman candidate depending on how they structure the carries and the balance of the carries in their offense this season. But Donovan Edwards, I believe, is one of the most talented skill players in all of college football entering 2023. There's a lot of great running backs on this list, but in terms of me, my favorite is number 2. And it's Nick Singleton. I absolutely love Nick Singleton. Nobody can break away. You talk about a cleanup hitter. Nobody can clear the bases and hit home runs better, I think, in college football than Nicholas Singleton right now. He showed it his true freshman season, his ability to hit the big play. You give him a small seam, you give him a small crease, he can take it 70. He can take it 80. He can take it 90 yards. He can take it to the house. No question about that. Now, I'm going to make a comparison. There's only one Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush was a very unique player in the history of college football. But here is the thing about Reggie Bush. When he touched the football, any single play, it could go to the house. I feel the exact same way about Nicholas Singleton. When he touches the ball, something absolutely electric can happen. Now, of course, he doesn't have the ability like Reggie Bush, lining up in the slot and the receiving game a little bit more, but the electricity is there for Nicholas Singleton. Man, when he gets ahead of steam, it is almost impossible to bring him down. I love his lower body strength and his balance. Arm tackles will bounce off of him. Arm tackles do nothing. You have to square up and tackle with your chest and tackle with your body to be effective against a running back like Nicholas Singleton. I absolutely love this guy. He will be in the Heisman Trophy running all season long. I have absolutely no doubt about it. Even though he's in the backfield with Braelon Allen, I don't think there's any doubt he's the number 1 back at Penn State, but Braelon Allen is a damn good number 2 in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania. Let's go to my number 1, and I think he's a lot of people's number 1, Blake Corum. Right now, here's the thing about Blake Corum, or a couple of things I should say about Blake Corum. His ability to change direction is uncanny. I mean, there are so many plays when I've watched him on film where he's running one way, even if he's just getting started on the run. Even if he just crosses the line of scrimmage, immediately, boom, he changes direction. He sees where he can kind of cross over in front of a few defenders, and he can completely swing the direction of the run at a moment's notice. His ability to cut and find those openings is absolutely amazing. And he utilizes his 5'8" frame to get really low. That's, I think, something he really plays into his advantage because He's already not a huge guy, standing straight up tall, back against the wall. Let me get out the tape measure, 5'8". And then you kind of factor in when he's able to get low, and he's able to get into that athletic triple threat position, and then that makes him even more difficult to tackle at such a small stature as well. And here's the thing. When boxes are loaded, he will somehow find a lane. He has a great ability and know-how to know when to bounce it to the outside. Although he has that speed, although he has that home run ability, he just knows exactly when to keep on going forward or to bounce it out to the outside. A lot like Nick Singleton before him, I hold my breath when Blake Corum touches the football. I hold my breath because just about anything can happen when Blake the Great has his hands on the football. I am so excited about what this running back group and what this running back class in the Big Ten can do in 2023. Where did I get it wrong? Let me know who you think the top 5 running backs are in the Big Ten Conference into 2023. It's going to be a great season. A lot of great guys toting the rock in the Big Ten.
Thanks for watching Big Ten TED, where it's all Big Ten all year long. Make sure to like the video to spread the word of Big Ten TED to the masses, and subscribe to the channel for updates on Big Ten content that drops every day.